welcome to this episode once again. My name is Togo from Woman of Valor Coaching, and I welcome you to this episode. So today we are talking about picking up your pieces after divorce, and these are tips for rebuilding your life. I've heard a lot of people talking about, oh, I'm trying to pick up my pieces. And this is the reason, really, I'm coming here to give you guidance, to give you tips, and to share with you my personal journey and the things that I know about picking up pieces. First things first, I wanted to talk to you about what does that really mean to pick up your pieces. When you're coming from an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship and you've experienced a breakup, it is a period where a lot of things are happening in your life. It is a period where you're experiencing a lot of emotions. For example, you'll be experiencing overwhelm, you'll be experiencing fear, there is doubt in you. It is also the period that you are healing. You've lost something, and so you're trying to heal from that. You're going through, divorce and a breakup, and so you have also to go through grieving at the same time when you're trying to heal. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you is that you are healing and grieving at the same time, which means that there are so many things that you haven't come to terms with. And so this is something that you really need to understand as a person, because you're trying to heal from this breakup, but also at the same time you're going through the grieving process. To be honest with you, when I left my abusive marriage, when we divorced, there was a lot of things that I didn't know. There was a lot of responsibilities that were waiting for me that I didn't realize until I got there. And so it is very important that you're very patient with yourself, that you're taking it one day at a time, you're being kind to yourself. And there are things that you're still struggling at this point to accept, and that is okay. I want you to think about this process similar to when you have lost a loved one to death, right? So if someone has died that was really close to you, you mourn their loss, but also you mourn the suffering that they went through before they passed on. It's remember that while you are mourning the person or the relationship, you will also be mourning your investment in the relationship, the abuse, the violence, and the trauma before your breakup. You will mourn the time that you spent in the relationship process after a breakup, because you have to remember that while you're mourning the person or the relationship, you will also be mourning your investment in this relationship, the time that you spent. You'll also be mourning the abuse, the trauma, the violence that you experienced before the actual breakup. You will mourn all these things while you're trying to heal. So during this time, your mind has suffered or is suffering a lot of losses, some of which may be physical or psychological or emotional. Right? And so there are so many issues you as a person you need to handle at this particular point. If you are unable to handle them carefully, you will find yourself stuck in the cycle of toxicity, but also in life in general. It's worse when this happens, because sometimes you will find yourself slipping off and wanting to go back to that person. And this is the period really that is critical in your healing journey, that you don't want to go to the person and begging or asking them to take you back, because the temptation is you will have those moments where you feel like things are really hard on you and you just want to go back to your ex. And so taking care of yourself and also following a system or these tips that I'm going to share on how very important. The other thing that you would like to understand is that your mind is used to the norm, which is your comfort zone. This norm is not always normal. Unfortunately, it will always try to take you back to that place. Your mind will try to force you to go back to that normal place. And this is your toxic relationship, because that's honestly, that's what you're used to. This is because over time, your brain has established neural pathways on certain patterns of behavior. You will only succeed on this journey if you are able to redefine these patterns and replace them with healthy ones. With everything seemingly falling apart in your life, you have to know that prioritization is key. When you're coming from or out of an abusive relationship or traumatic experience, everything seems urgent. This is because your brain is trying to help you or to get you move past that phase as fast as you can to the new dawn or to the other side. So I'll start by sharing principles. These are the principles that you always have to remember when you're picking up your pieces. The first principle is that start by reminding yourself that not everything in you is broken, and that not everything that has broken was needed in your life. At this point, it is very critical to start identifying which pieces in your life really need to be picked up and which ones need to be left alone. You have to understand that you will never go back to the person you were before the breakup happened, because you have grown, you are dynamic, you are learning, and things have changed a lot in your life. You've matured a lot. And therefore, you have to realize that you can never be that previous version of yourself. So do not expect your life to look exactly the way it was before you experienced abuse or the breakup that happened. Start by identifying what you have learned from this experience. Be objective with yourself. Be honest with yourself, because it would be difficult to identify which pieces really need to be picked up if you don't know exactly which ones shattered. And that's when you need to sit down and be realistic and be objective as you examine your life. The second principle that I'm going to share with you is that start with baby steps. Begin by working on the tasks that do not exhaust or overwhelm you. When you have been through an abusive relationship, or when psychologically you're traumatized, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, to be tired, to wanting to give up. This is the point where many people would like to go back to their abuser and just wanting to get back to what seems to be normal, because your mind over time, it had established these neural pathways, and it always tries to force you to go back to that former environment. But you have to know that your pain is temporal. Your trauma is temporal. And whatever emotions you're experiencing at this particular time, they're all temporal. You're going to go back to normal, but you have to work at it. And therefore, pick tasks that do not overwhelm you. And as you get comfortable, add on some more. Do not pick all the pieces at once, because you're going to be exhausted, you're going to be overwhelmed, and sooner or later, you will find yourself giving up. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. So take one step at a time. The final principle here is that you have to know that grieving is a gift. Mourning is a gift. And tears are a gift. So allow yourself time to grieve. Some days it will be harder than others, but never ignore your grief. Do not put on a tough face. Some people are like that. They would like to put on a tough face. The principle here is that you have to know that grieving is a gift. Tears are a gift. Crying is a gift, and it's normal. So allow yourself the time to grieve. Some days are going to be harder than others, but never ignore your pain. Sit down in your emotions. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and to identify it and to go through that pain and grieve. If you want to cry, cry. Allow yourself, if you have to break down, break down. Your tears are very valid. Unresolved grief will always come back to bite you, and you don't want that. So deal with your emotions right now. Well, having said that, here are the actual steps that will help you pick up your pieces. The first step: focus on your mental health. The reason you're reacting or you're feeling the way you're feeling, the emotions that you're going through, the roller coaster, the anxiousness, feeling worried, terrified, being scared, feeling lost, and anger, everything that you're going through, it's because emotionally and psychologically you've been traumatized. It is important to redesign your life and to allow yourself to go through that and heal. And therefore, you need to start working on things that build your mental resilience. You need to take care of your mental health. You need to start prioritizing self-care at this particular point. And so baby steps are very important. And once your mental health gets stable, as long as you're getting stronger, you will gain clarity on so many things in your life. You will gain confidence. You also have the motivation to work on things that are very important in your life. For example, you can try to do regular exercises. You can start taking walks every morning, start meditating, you can start journaling. It helps a lot. Make self-care your priority. Again, you can also choose a hobby. That works as well. It keeps you going. The second step is that focus on the most important tasks and not urgent tasks. Important tasks, these are tasks that will build your better future. For example, while you're processing divorce and all those things, you may be trying to process or fight for the custody of your children at the same time. And also you may be trying to move to a different location at that particular point in time. There's no right or wrong answer to this because important is very subjective. However, you would like to focus on those activities. You need to put your energy on tasks that really build you, that build a solid foundation for your future. Think of that one thing in your life that you need to do or to work on in order to move you to that next step. The final step that I will share is that stay in your lane. At this particular point, when you've just divorced or separated from your ex, it's very tempting to start comparing your life and their life, or even comparing your life to the life of other people. Stop comparing yourself with others. For example, I've seen instances where people are looking constantly at or following their ex on social media and saying, oh, he already moved on, he's already getting married, oh, they had a beautiful wedding, this and that, oh, he looks so happy, he's bought a new car. You're constantly comparing yourself. It will be hard for you to move on when you're comparing yourself with that other person. Do not compare with yourself, because your life is your life and their life is theirs. There is a say which says that, comparison is a thief of joy. So stop comparing yourself with other people. Do the best that you can for your life and what it is right now, and stop looking left, right. Just focus on you and you alone. I hope this video helps you, and I would be very pleased to hear your comments on this video, your thoughts. And as always, remember to hit the subscribe button, to like this video, and share with all those people who matter to you. Until next time, may God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.